Hello. 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 Take my vitamins. Okay. Sorry I'm late. I was checking something. Okay. Thank you guys who sent some more donations in towards the laptop. I appreciate that. I am in the middle of getting the all the thank yous out to thank you guys personally. That was incredible, and I really appreciate it. What was I going to say? I don't know what I was going to say. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what I was going to say other than that. Oh, I've got to put up the thumbnails and the spots for the auction tomorrow. Okay, so let me get in here. So I've been out of the loop and just quickly checked in. Hi, Dandy. In front of Target. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so crazy. Okay, but first there's, is this manhunt still going on in Alabama? This woman looks so familiar to me. I can't think of who she looks like. I think it's somebody I know personally. So, uh-oh. Something happened. Hold on. Now this computer wants to play with me. Okay, hang on. Let me put this over there. No, but then I don't think I can hear her speaking. And it's like somebody that's on TV or something. I don't know where I know this woman from. And I can hear her speaking. Oh, it's driving me insane, but it'll come to me. Anyway, let's see. I don't even know if this is like still going on though, because I'm so out of the loop. Sometimes they don't update these things. We'll see. It says that there's a manhunt in Alabama as a murder suspect disappears with a corrections officer. Police in northern Alabama are searching for a capital murder suspect and a corrections officer who have been missing since they left the detention center for the courthouse at 9:30 a.m. on Friday morning. No one noticed Casey Cole White and Assistant Director of Corrections Vicky White, no relation, isn't that weird? That they were missing for 6 hours, according to the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office. The vehicle the two left in was found in a local shopping center parking lot, but there were no signs of either of them. I wonder if this is another thing that they fell in love or something, or did he take her at, I don't know. And they're looking for video evidence that could provide more information. Yeah, wouldn't there be video evidence? Casey White, 39, was charged in 2020 with the October 23, 2015 murder for hire killing of 59-year-old Connie Jane Ridgway at her apartment. Connie Jane Ridgway. Maybe I'm just thinking of Gary Ridgway. I thought that sounded like something that was on a Dayline. In her apartment in Rogersville. He was previously arrested in December of 2015 and charged with multiple counts related to a home invasion, 2 carjackings, and multiple stabbings in northern Alabama and South Tennessee. He was convicted in 2019 on 9 charges: attempted murder of his ex-girlfriend, kidnapping her 2 roommates. It sounds like he kidnapped this woman. First-degree robbery, first- and third-degree burglary, breaking and entering a vehicle, animal cruelty for shooting a dog, and attempting to elude law enforcement. And he was sentenced to 75 years in prison. He sounds like quite a catch, doesn't he? He was arrested for Ridgway's killing after he wrote a letter to an investigator in the case and confessed during a subsequent interview. He's been charged with capital murder during a burglary and murder for pecuniary, oh my gosh, I can't speak today. Pecuniary gain, meaning he was paid to kill Ridgway. Authorities warn people not to approach Casey White. He's described as 6'9". 6'9". He's going to be hard to miss. 270 pounds. If he's seen, call police immediately. Now let's see if that's still going on. Specificity. Remember that one? Specificity. Okay. Casey White manhunt. I guess it looks like they're still missing. Let's see if there's any other information here. Police are searching for a county corrections officer and a murder suspect. The Assistant Director of Corrections, Vicki White, left the Alabama jail with inmate Casey Cole White. Here's another picture of the corrections officer was taking Casey Cole White from the detention center to the courthouse around 9:30 a.m. this morning when the two went missing. Casey Cole White, 39, was being held on capital murder charges. No one realized the two were missing until about 3:30 p.m. The vehicle that the two left the detention center in has been located in the parking lot of a local shopping center. Investigators are currently attempting to locate any video in the area which shows where the two might have gone. Let's see here. Yeah, so that's a strange one, huh? That is a strange one. Okay, we have a little update here about hold on one second. Lily Peters. In the days since the teenage suspect was arrested in connection with Lily's death and charged with first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree SA, and first-degree SA with a child under the age of 13, the town of Chippewa Falls has been pulling together with compassion and support. The mayor of Chippewa Falls, Greg Hoffman, said that the outpouring of love for Lily has been staggering. And I quote him saying, "I'm getting emails and phone calls from people in different states asking, what can we do? And sending their prayers." Residents designated Friday Justice for Lily Day and decked out the town in purple in her honor. And this is what they did. They decked out, and they had these banners. The news of Lily's disappearance and death sent shockwaves through the community. Lily's father reported her missing on Sunday evening when she didn't return home from visiting her aunt, who lives minutes away from the Peters family. Hours later, Lily's bicycle was found in the woods near a walking trail. Her body was discovered in a nearby wooded area the next morning, and Police Chief Matthew Kelm said that the suspect was known to the victim and is being held on a $1 million cash bond. The results of a preliminary autopsy were released on Thursday, and they showed that Lily died by strangulation and blunt force trauma. Local businesses have been donating their time and supplies in Lily's memory. Joel Jacobson, the owner of Jacobson's Ace Hardware in Chippewa Falls, is distributing free purple light bulbs to neighbors to hang on their porches. Lily was wearing a purple long-sleeve shirt the night she disappeared. We contacted our warehouse and sourced more than 400 bulbs, which were passed out in less than 20 minutes. Jacobson said, "We just received 600 more bulbs, and there's a line at our door to get them. When you drive around town at night, the homes are all lit up." And here's where they're giving out the light bulbs there. Jacobson added that people tied purple ribbons on streetlight poles and residents' mailboxes, while the mother of a former employee made purple wreaths to hang in his store. While on Friday, the Chippewa Falls Area Unified School District, where Lily Peters attended Parkview Elementary, held Justice for Lily Day, inviting students and teachers to wear the color. Elsewhere in town, a souvenir shop called the Chippewa Store printed buttons, yard signs, and car decals marked Justice for Lily and launched an online fundraiser for related apparel. "The gestures come naturally," Jacobson said. "This is what you do. There's no discussion or fanfare. It's the right thing to do." Chuck Hall, the Chippewa Falls City Council president, agreed. "An event like this is something we have not experienced in Chippewa Falls in recent memory and will be remembered for a long time. The community will come together after the grieving and in time come up with the appropriate memorial to honor Lily." One suggestion being discussed is the idea of renaming each East Birch Street, where Lily Peters formerly lived, as Lily Street. The community initiative has gotten traction over the past few days. The idea still needs to meet with approval from the City Council and the Public Works Department, but I have no issue with it, he said. Okay, now there was something else. Hold on. Chippewa County Coroner Ron Patton noted that a full report is not expected for several weeks for the autopsy. The early findings confirm that the 10-year-old's cause of death is a homicide. Chippewa Falls police arrested the suspect in the case, a 14-year-old boy. Lily's mom slammed online trolls for judging her family in the wake of her daughter's death, writing on social media, "What makes zero sense is how quickly you judge my family based on a timeline and assumptions. I hope you never, ever endure this kind of heartache." The body of Lily Peters was discovered in a wooded area not far from her bike on Monday morning. Hold on a minute, there was something that... So let's see, the mother of the murdered 10-year-old ripped internet trolls for judging her family hours after she learned her daughter had allegedly been killed by a teen who is reported to be the girl's cousin. Ileana Lily Peters was found in a wooded area of town on Monday morning after she was allegedly beaten, strangled to death, and then essayed. "What makes zero sense is how quickly you judge my family based on a timeline and assumptions you can only speculate on since it's privy to the investigation that those details not be released," said Lily's mother, Jennifer Irely, in a social media post. As Lily's mother, I can only say I am ashamed of you folks out there judging us from behind a screen. I hope you never, ever endure this kind of heartache. If you cannot offer kindness, don't offer anything. My daughter was kind. If you truly want to be part of bringing justice, you can do the right by my daughter and model something she lived by, kindness. Irely and her family have been under scrutiny since the news broke about Lily's death, which police immediately ruled a homicide. Trolls have questioned her parenting and said what they would or wouldn't have done if Lily was their daughter, and filled in information gaps with their own theories. Irely posted her comment before Lily's alleged killer, a 14-year-old eighth grader, was arrested. The suspect is reportedly her cousin, but police and prosecutors haven't confirmed that detail. Okay, hang on a second. I didn't forget you. I have to go back. Okay. Officers conducting a welfare check on a 93-year-old woman who hadn't been seen for an extended period of time found her body stuffed into a large freezer in the home's garage. The Sebastian Police Department said officers were dispatched to the house on Thursday after neighbors reported being concerned because they hadn't seen Marie Hoskins in a while. The officers were unable to reach anyone at the home or get any information about her whereabouts, and they returned to the home later in the day after obtaining a key with the help of an out-of-town family member. Inside, they found Hoskins' 64-year-old daughter, who told them she hadn't seen her mother in some time. While checking the house, they found her body. The daughter, who also lived at the home, voluntarily came to police headquarters for questioning. Detectives obtained a search warrant for the house and executed it early Friday morning, and they recovered the body and other evidence, they said. Detectives are actively working with the medical examiner and the state's attorney's office on this case, as it is still active at this time. No further information was released, including whether the daughter was facing any charges. A 51-year-old man from New York State's Thousand Islands region, which is above me, is in jail after allegedly stabbing his older sister to death because he was done with her witchcraft. Court documents say that Anthony DiBella lived in a Point Peninsula home in the town of Lyme with his 67-year-old sister, Wanda Paoli, and their 89-year-old mother. According to these documents, DiBella called Jefferson County dispatchers and told them that Wanda Paoli is being killed. She is a witch, killed with a knife and an awl, and is currently on the porch. Police arrived at the home, took DiBella into custody, found Paoli dead on the porch, and they also found the mother inside the home unharmed, although she had been locked in her room and was unaware of what had happened. State police said there had been some kind of domestic disturbance before the stabbing. I had to do what I did to her because she was getting in the way of me communicating to God, DiBella reportedly told investigators, adding that people are worshiping rocks and dirt instead of God. He did it, he said, because she was a witch. Paoli had stab wounds to her head, neck, and face. The documents also contain a statement from DiBella's brother, Russell DiBella, who lives in Texas. Russell DiBella said he spoke on the phone with his brother, who told him, "I killed her, and I stabbed her in the head." Anthony DiBella has been charged with second-degree murder and 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. He's being held without bail in the Jefferson County Jail. So she was 16 years older than him. Okay. Florida man was arrested this week and charged with the murder of a Dallas lawyer who was beaten and then burned alive in 2016. Stephen Aubrey had been on law enforcement's radar from almost the beginning in the death of the attorney Ira Tobolowsky. Investigators believe Aubrey was irate because Tobolowsky was representing his mother in a dispute over her husband's estate. The magazine said that Aubrey's mother had cut him out of the will in 2012, believing he was becoming unhinged, and had deliberately infested her home with rats. "You have 3 days to change your mind and apologize to me, or else," Aubrey wrote in an email dated December 2012, "or else I will make it my mission to make the rest of your life miserable, as you deserve. Everyone you have ever known will know what has happened and the poor choices you have made. It is sickening to watch you make threats with the money that Dad made while you played bridge. I guess I'm lucky that what I got from you is thin, good looks, but poor Buck," his brother, "got the lazy, never had a job part of you." Tobolowsky was involved in a heated court battle with Aubrey and another man, Brian Vodica. Both previously denied any involvement in their murder, and Vodica had not been arrested or charged. Investigators believe that Aubrey spied on Tobolowsky prior to the murder, having drilled holes for that purpose in a backyard fence. On May 13th of 2016, Tobolowsky was preparing to leave for work from his home on Kenshire Drive in Dallas, Texas. An investigation determined Tobolowsky entered his garage and was near his car when Aubrey assaulted him, pouring gasoline on the victim and setting him on fire, causing his death. The Dallas County Medical Examiner ruled Tobolowsky's death a homicide and said he died of thermal burns, smoke inhalation, and blunt force trauma. Aubrey was taken into custody in Oakland Park, Florida, and will be extradited to Texas to stand trial on a capital murder charge. A beloved mental health worker and union steward was shot to death by her estranged husband Wednesday morning outside the Target store at Chicago's Brickyard Mall. Jennifer Hamilton was 47 years old, and she was rushed to Loyola University Medical Center, where she was pronounced dead. Her husband, 50-year-old Alfonso Hamilton, walked into the Schiller Park police station just after the attack and told officers he just shot someone at the mall. Chicago police said Jennifer Hamilton was outside when her husband approached her and started shooting. She was struck by multiple bullets. The Hamiltons lived just across the street from the parking lot where the shooting took place, and Jennifer Hamilton was in the process of moving out. She was a mental health specialist at Cermak Hospital at the Cook County Jail and the steward for her union, SEU 173. Our union is devastated over the tragic loss of our dear member and union steward, Jennifer Hamilton, said the union president, Dion Palmer. For the past 4 years, Jennifer was a staunch advocate for her patients and for her union sisters and brothers. Jennifer had a sincere passion for her work in mental health. When you spoke with her, you understood her commitment to providing the best care possible for her patients before and throughout the pandemic. Her tragic death will be felt by everyone whose life she's touched. Alderman Gilbert Villegas, whose 36th ward includes the shooting scene, calls the death heartbreaking and said he felt it could have been prevented. It's tragic because there were clues and hints this violence was occurring. Alfonso has been charged with first-degree murder and is expected in bond court on Friday. Okay, hang on a minute. A 16-year-old girl was shot to death in the early morning hours of Friday morning, and her mother's boyfriend has been charged with the murder. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez said that deputies were dispatched to the scene when a young woman called 911 to report that Dan Brisbane was holding her 16-year-old sister captive at gunpoint. Harris County Sheriff Officer Sergeant Dennis Wolford said deputies arrived at the scene and reported hearing a gunshot and screaming, and then another gunshot as they approached the front door. Brisbane came out of the door almost immediately after the gunshots were heard and was taken into custody. "You do what you have to do," he told the deputies when he came outside. Deputies entered the home and found the girl dead with multiple gunshot wounds. Deputies said the victim and the suspect were the only people inside the home at the time. It's not clear where the young woman who made the 911 call was. The station reported that the mother, the boyfriend, and the teen all lived at the house. The mother was out of town but has since returned. Gonzalez said Brisbane, age 60, has not been cooperative and investigators don't have a motive. Brisbane has been charged with murder. That's great. South Carolina man who reportedly vanished late last month was found dead on Tuesday in a shallow grave. According to the WYFF Foothills search and rescue crews found Devontae Griffin, 28, deceased in a wooded area in Roebuck. The remains were ultimately identified as Griffin, and his death was deemed a homicide. Griffin, who has been reported missing by his mother on March 30th, was reportedly last seen getting into his on-again, off-again girlfriend's car on March 29th. His girlfriend, Jessica Strachan, 28, was arrested in Miami, Florida on April 14th for obstruction of justice after police determined she was interfering with the ongoing investigation and had provided misleading information. Jessica was extradited to South Carolina and bailed out of jail on April 15th. However, it's reported that she was rearrested on Monday for violating the terms of her home detention by failing a drug test. She has not been criminally charged in connection with Griffin's death. A search warrant was executed at her home on March 31st, the same day investigators asked to meet with her for a second interview, but By then, Jessica had already fled to Florida. Spartanburg County Police are now seeking Taurus Crook, 33, who they have identified as a person of interest in this case. They have not disclosed his relationship to Griffin or Jessica or his role in Griffin's apparent murder. Crook's last known address was Spartanburg. Anyone with information regarding Crook's whereabouts or his involvement with this case is asked to contact Spartanburg County Police Detective Megan Bennett at 864-503-4608. Texas police announced on Friday that human remains found in December of 2021 belonged to a jailed ex-NFL player's girlfriend who suspiciously vanished last April. Harris County police say the remains were positively identified as Taylor Pomaski, 29, who was last seen April 25, 2021, at a party at her spring home which she shared with her boyfriend, Kevin Ware Jr., 40. Toxicology results and an official cause of death are still pending. In December of 2021, human remains were found in an undisclosed location in North Harris County. The discovery was made after an investigation into Pomaski's whereabouts. Months earlier, June 11th, U.S. Marshals arrested Ware for failing to report for bond supervision in regards to her previous gun and drug charges in an unrelated case in Montgomery County. The deputies located cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamines, and a loaded AK-47 and a 9mm pistol in Ware's possession after he was pulled over for driving 115 miles per hour. During a court hearing weeks after Ware's arrest, prosecutors revealed he was a suspect in his girlfriend's then unsolved disappearance. He remains jailed. He played tight end for the Washington Redskins in 2003 and the San Francisco 49ers in 2004. He has not been criminally charged in connection with Pomaski's disappearance and death. Okay, so we have an update now on hold on one second. Let me just okay, hold on, let me just get a graphic up here. Okay, so we have an update on the Gabby Petito family lawsuit. Okay, let's see what's going on here. So Gabby's parents filed an updated lawsuit against Brian Laundrie's parents, and here are the 6 changes that were made. The parents of Gabby Petito, Joe Petito and Nicole Schmidt, have filed an amended lawsuit claiming that Brian Laundrie's parents went on vacation with their son while knowing he had murdered their 22-year-old daughter and refusing to disclose the location of her remains. Joe Petito and Nicole Schmidt originally filed a lawsuit against Chris and Roberta Laundrie in March. The judge, Hunter W. Carroll, made note of a perceived procedural deficiency. So they had to make revisions, and the lawsuit continues to claim that Brian's parents knew all along that their son, Brian Laundrie, murdered Gabby Petito, and they say that the parents were helping him flee the country. Stephen Bertolino, the Laundrie's attorney, has said this is completely baseless. It remains, absent of evidence to back up the allegations made against the Laundries, even though there's some noteworthy changes in it. They'll have to wait and see, said the Petito and Schmidt attorney, Pat Riley, when asked about the evidence. If we didn't believe it was true, we wouldn't have put them in the complaint. And here's the 6 notable changes. One is the Laundrie September trip to Fort DeSoto Park. The lawsuit has been changed in regards to the Laundrie family's camping trip in early September at the Fort DeSoto campground after Brian had returned home without Gabby. It now claims the family went on vacation, not only aware that Brian had murdered Gabby, but also with the knowledge of where Gabby Petito's body was located, as a multi-state search effort was being conducted for her whereabouts. While Gabby Petito's family was suffering, the Laundrie family went on vacation to Fort DeSoto Park on September 6th to the 7th of 2021. They went on vacation knowing that Laundrie had murdered Gabrielle Petito. It is believed that they knew where her body was located and further knew that Gabrielle Petito's parents were attempting to locate her. A section was added to the lawsuit where Petito and Schmidt say a statement claiming the Laundries were hopeful the search for Gabby would be successful was beyond outrageous. The statement in question comes from September 14th, which is before Gabby's remains were found in Wyoming. And it was released, it was a family statement that was released, and it said, and I quote, "It is our understanding that a search has been organized for Ms. Petito in or near Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. On behalf of the Laundrie family, it is our hope that the search for Ms. Petito is successful and that Ms. Petito is reunited with her family." The word hope is singled out for the Laundries to express their hope that Gabrielle Petito was located and reunited with her family at a time when they knew she had been murdered by their son was beyond outrageous. In Section 28 of the lawsuit, law enforcement has been removed from the mentioned parties that Chris and Roberta Laundrie allegedly refused to communicate with, despite the fact that Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt implored Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie to tell them if their daughter was alive, and if she was not, where her remains were located. Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie refused to respond to either Joseph Petito or Nicole Schmidt. In Section 31 of the lawsuit, it has been reworked to specify claims that the Laundries were aware of the pain and suffering that Joe Petito and Nicole Schmidt were experiencing through Gabby's disappearance. Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie knew of the mental suffering and anguish of Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt in not knowing the well-being or location of their daughter, and further knew that such mental suffering and anguish increased each day that Gabrielle Petito was missing. Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie further knew that they could prevent such additional mental suffering and anguish of Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt by disclosing what they knew about the well-being and location of the remains of Gabrielle Petito, yet they repeatedly refused to do so. In doing so, Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie acted with malice or great indifference to the rights of Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt. Section 32 of the lawsuit has been amended as a summation of the lawsuit with 5 specific allegations that the attorney for Petito and Schmidt argue is extreme and outrageous conduct that goes beyond all possible bounds of decency due to claims of actions that are shocking, atrocious, and utterly intolerable in a civilized community. The 5 allegations listed in the lawsuit now are: A, allegation of failing to inform Gabby's parents she was deceased. B, allegation of failing to inform Gabby's parents of the location of her body. C, taking a family vacation while allegedly knowing Gabby's parents were desperately seeking her whereabouts. D, allegation of blocking access to their phones and Facebook page. E, issuing a statement of hope while allegedly knowing Gabby was deceased. The lawsuit's most procedural amendment is separating the counts issued by and against all parties as follows. Count 1, Joseph Petito versus Christopher Laundrie. Count 2, Joseph Petito versus Roberta Laundrie. Count 3, Nicole Schmidt versus Christopher Laundrie. Count 4, Nicole Schmidt versus Roberta Laundrie. The Laundries, through their attorney, have repeatedly denied any wrongdoing, and they are expected to file a second motion for dismissal. The revised lawsuit maintains several bombshell allegations against the Laundries, including new information about Gabby's exact cause of death. If the lawsuit survives attempts to dismiss, a jury trial has been set for the week of August 14, 2023, at the South County Courthouse in Sarasota County, Florida. The trial would be open to the public, with international media attention likely. It would mark the first time the Petito case reaches a courtroom, and while it would be a civil case instead of a criminal one, it would reveal the strength of the highly anticipated evidence Petito and Schmidt claim to have to support their accusations. Okay, so Clayton, Missouri. A jury has convicted a man in Missouri of first-degree murder in the death of his pregnant wife, whose battered body was found about a week after she was reported missing in 2019. In addition to the murder count, Bo Rothwell, 31, was found guilty Thursday in tampering with physical evidence and abandonment of a corpse. Rothwell admitted killing his wife during the trial, but denied the killing was premeditated and sought conviction on a lesser manslaughter charge. He testified during the trial that he bludgeoned 28-year-old Jennifer Rothwell to death with a mallet at their home on November 11, 2019, during a heated argument over his affair with another woman. Bo Rothwell testified that he hit his wife in the head from behind with a mallet, followed her as she stumbled towards the garage door, and then he hit her again. He faces life in prison without the possibility of parole when he's sentenced on July 8th. Prosecutors painted Bo Rothwell as a meticulous planner and showed the jury his text with the other woman, as well as a list of pros and cons he made for leaving his wife. He had reported his wife missing, and police later found bottles of bleach in the home and a wet, blood-stained carpet. Investigators said the blood was his wife's. Jennifer Rothwell also had looked up what to do if your husband is upset you are pregnant on her cell phone before she went missing. Her body was found about 45 miles northwest of her home, and authorities say she was about 6 weeks pregnant when she died. I think we covered this one. Bo Rothwell took the stand on the third day of his murder trial. He told the jury that he struck his pregnant wife in the head with a mallet and killed her at their St. Louis County home in November of 2019. The prosecution wrapped its case up with testimony from the DNA forensic expert with the St. Lawrence County Crime Lab. The expert confirmed that bloodstains found in the Rothwell's basement and on Bo Rothwell's truck matched the DNA profile of Jennifer Rothwell. Defense attorney Charles Barberio called two of Bo's former co-workers to the stand, as well as a person who he played racquetball with. The three acquaintances, all men, testified to Bo's low-key, even-tempered behavior and attitude, and they described him as a level-headed and never saw any outbursts of anger or frustration. Finally, Bo Rothwell took the stand in his own defense, and he recounted his courtship with Jennifer, saying they met at the University of Missouri in the spring of 2010 in the engineering lab. They moved to the St. Louis area in 2013, and they married in the September of 2015. Bo testified that he'd always wanted to be a father and said they started trying to conceive in the fall of 2018. That December, the couple learned that Jennifer had endometriosis, and they kept trying to conceive into the spring of 2019 to no avail. By May and June, Bo testified that it started to feel like a chore, and it was devoid of any romantic spark. Rothwell said that he and Jennifer agreed to cut back on their attempts to conceive. It was around this time, May or June 2019, that Bo said he began having an affair. According to Bo, Jennifer told him she was pregnant in September of 2019. They talked about painting a nursery in their home, and they discussed changing their insurance to cover the costs of having a baby. Bo was asked about the three options he laid out in the text exchange with his mistress. Bo said the third option, waiting to see what happened with Jennifer's pregnancy, was a way to kick the can down the road because he didn't want to have to make a decision. He claimed he was lying when he told his mistress that he was hoping for a miscarriage. Rothwell's voice cracked multiple times during his testimony. He wept while talking about building Jennifer a pregnancy calendar to measure the growth of her belly. Bo was asked to describe the day of Jennifer's death. Bo said he had a feeling anxiety and guilt over the affair and knew he needed to tell Jennifer. He told the court he was throwing himself at Jennifer's mercy and confessed to her while the two sat in their kitchen. Jennifer grew highly agitated, Bo said, and demanded to know the identity of his mistress, and when he wouldn't tell her, he claimed that Jennifer shoved him. And she said she was having an affair of her own, and that the baby might not be his. Oh my gosh. So he admitted to standing up and going into a red haze. He told the court he picked up a nearby mallet that he used to hang wall decorations, and he struck Jennifer in the right side of her head while she was still seated. Jennifer stumbled from her chair and tried walking to the attached garage. Bo said he followed her, and he got into a brief scuffle at the top of the basement stairs. In Bo's words, he struck Jennifer with the mallet again, causing her to fall down the stairs and into the basement. Bo said he tried to shake Jennifer awake, but she was unresponsive. He testified that he went into panic mode and set out to clean the house of Jennifer's blood. He discussed going to a nearby grocery store twice to buy cleaning supplies and gloves, and his decision to load Jennifer's body into the back of his truck. Bo said he put all of the used cleaning supplies in trash bags and put them in the truck bed with her body. He abandoned her body along Highway 61 in Lincoln County between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. on November 12th. Bo said he made the decision to strip Jennifer's clothes because he saw it on crime shows. He then stopped at a business on the way home and tossed the garbage bags in the dumpster. Once back at home, Bo said he kept cleaning throughout the night and drove Jennifer's car and left it abandoned on the side of the road near Fifi, which is a very busy intersection. He also used Jennifer's phone to call his phone. Bo said he walked home and then decided to go to work in the morning in order to, in his words, keep up the facade of normalcy. Bo left work during lunch and returned home to continue cleaning up Jennifer's blood. He admitted to helping Jennifer's friends and family search for her over the next day, knowing she would not be found. I wonder, I would have liked to have seen that trial. Sitting with his hands tightly squeezed into his lap, Bo Rothwell kept his head down until the state rested their case. His expression shifted as the defense team ushered in two co-workers and a former teammate with whom he played racquetball with. The 29-year-old locked eyes with each witness as they walked through the double doors. His defense team repeatedly asked the men if they saw any sort of aggression from Bo separately. The three men used adjectives like calm, even-tempered, and low-key to describe their former project manager. Engineers have an emotional model. Bo fits into that, a former coworker elaborated. We are not the life of the party. We aren't typically outgoing. In cross-examination, the St. Louis County prosecuting attorney Thomas Scott shoots off a series of fast-paced questions. You've testified you'd never seen him angry. You testified you'd never seen him aggressive. But you weren't at his residence on November 11th, 2019. With a suit and tie on, Bo Rothwell quietly pushed himself from the defense table, stood in front of Judge Ellen Ribaudo, and took an oath to tell the truth. Once seated, Bo's lead attorney, Charles Barbero, wasted no time divulging into his client's account of their marriage and what led up to his wife's death. He talked about meeting his wife at the University of Missouri in 2010, and they were lab partners. They shared their love of games and joining her family on annual trips to North Carolina. Jennifer was my best friend. He smiled as he said he planned their 2014 engagement proposal by buying a cat and tying the wedding band to it. He adds that a successful family life includes fatherhood for him. I always wanted to be a dad. She always wanted to be a mom. In 2018, the pair regularly tried to conceive a child but struggled. In late December, Jennifer learned she had endometriosis, highlighting the couple's engineering background. He adds, while looking at the jurors, we measured body temperatures to see if she was ovulating. Bo later utters the pair mutually lost interest when their sex lives felt clinical. It lost its spark and felt like a chore. During his testimony, Bo Rothwell shared his awkward experience when he learned that Jennifer was pregnant in 2019. Domestic chaos, he joked. He said he was signing for a pizza delivery when she appeared from the back of the house announcing that she was pregnant. He described the moment as strange since Jennifer watched reveals on YouTube a lot. Bo recalled sitting at their kitchen table in silence while indulging on their pizza, and at that moment he said he knew he had to end the affair. Over the next few days, the Rothwells would discuss nursery room designs, health care, and making a monthly baby calendar. Bo Rothwell turned red and cried when explaining how excited they were to make one of their own. He wiped his nose as his defense team switched to the next topic. Barbario then circles back to something brought up previously. Bo Rothwell's conversation about potential 3 options regarding his future life with his mistress. Option 3 was a way to not make a decision, just kicking the can down the road. I really wanted a kid. I didn't want a miscarriage. For the first time since his arrest, Bo Rothwell explained in detail what went down inside the home on North Winds Drive. Besides a nasty snowstorm, normal is how Bo described the evening of November 11th. He testified that he came home at 3 p.m. and Jennifer Rothwell came home 2 hours later. Together they watched Netflix before heading upstairs. Taking one step at a time, Bo Rothwell knew he had to come clean about his affair. Plan was to tell her about the affair, throw myself at her mercy, and hope for the best. I knew if I didn't let her know, we wouldn't be able to fix it. I wouldn't have a chance to be in the child's life. Barbario enlarged a photo of the Rothwells' dining room on a projector, and jurors examined 3 chairs alongside a round wooden dining table where the two sat on November 11th. According to the 29-year-old, he said, with his back against the wall while Jennifer Rothwell sat in the middle chair. Jennifer, there is something I have to tell you. I'm really sorry, but I've been having an affair. Bo Rothwell began. He recalled his wife angrily saying, "How dare you!" expletive. Bo Rothwell claims his wife demanded him to reveal his mistress' name, but he refused. He claimed that she shoved him before blurting out, "Keep your mystery expletive. I've got someone too." "Is this even mine?" Bo replied. The heated conversation went back and forth. "Who is it?" Bo now demands his wife to reveal who she was allegedly having an affair with. "It doesn't matter. At least he can get me pregnant." Bo Rothwell testified he was standing behind his wife and he hit her with a mallet in a red haze of anger and then followed her as she stumbled towards the garage to escape. "In the heat of the moment, I hit her again. I think I cracked her skull, and she fell down the stairs," he said. "She was unresponsive. I couldn't tell if she was deceased." The prosecution argues his account doesn't match the medical examiner's conclusions and physical evidence. During Wednesday's trial, the medical examiner testified the fatal wound to Jennifer Rothwell's head was the result of a single blow with a weapon sturdier than a mallet, such as a baseball bat. Prosecutors point to another contradiction between evidence and Bo Rothwell's testimony. Evidence supports the state's argument that Bo Rothwell ambushed his wife at the bottom of the steps. Instead of calling 911, Bo Rothwell claims he went into panic mode and started cleaning up the blood. "Every fiber in my body was saying, 'Do something, or I die,' after killing Jennifer. I thought I had to clean this up and hide what I'd done," he said. After scrubbing away the blood and loading her body into the back of his truck that was lined with a tarp, he said he put the keys in his ignition and he drove without a destination in sight. His voice cracked when he described, "Until I got lost." He eventually pulled over on the side of the Highway 61 near Troy and placed her body 20 to 25 feet off the road, covering her with twigs and leaves. And after dumping evidence in a dumpster, he admitted to later parking her car along Olive Boulevard as part of a scheme to claim she'd gone missing. He also added he knew it was wrong to deceive her friends and family, but felt like he had to keep up the facade. Bo participated in a search party for Jennifer, although he knew she was dead. Yes, I searched for her car. Yes, put up missing flyers and posted on social media. One shocking admission came during the final cross-examinations between Rothwell and Smith regarding his mistress. You still talk to this mistress every day? Smith questioned as he slowly walked from left to right along the front of the juror stand. Rather than making eye contact with Bo, he turned and locked eyes with the jurors. Bo replies, "Not every day." He slowly turns his back and asks, "You don't?" Bo admits the pair talk almost every day since he was arrested in 2019. You still had an affair while you knew you were having a baby? Smith asked. Yes, Bo said. Throw yourself at Jennifer's mercy for a chance to be in the child's life? There is no kid. You took an object and smashed it on her head while the baby was in her womb, Smith interjected. Objection, badgering the witness, Barbario muttered. Smith ends his cross-examination by focusing on Bo Rothwell's own statements about panicking during the murder. Were you panicking while lying to your mother-in-law and father-in-law? Smith said while pointing out that Jennifer's parents, who were sitting in the front row behind the prosecution, in a response to his pregnant wife's murder, Bo Rothwell weeps. It haunts me every day. Wow. I would have liked to have seen that trial. Court heard that while investigating, police went through phone records and discovered an unknown number belonging to a woman Rothwell was having an affair with. She came forward after seeing news reports about Jennifer going missing and later provided detectives with messages exchanged between herself and Rothwell. After learning his wife was pregnant, Rothwell got in touch with his lover saying, I can't focus or do anything productive. I'm in panic mode. LOL. Jennifer took a pregnancy test and it came back positive. He also sent her 3 options for the future. One was they stop talking to each other. Another that he tells his wife about the affair and they divorce. While the third was to wait and see if she miscarries or something else happens. One message said, part of me wants this pregnancy to not work out, while another read, if there is a miscarriage or something, I'll leave her after that and be with you. Prosecutors argued that this something could indicate he was thinking of murdering her, but this was strongly denied by the defense. Rothwell told the court that he and his wife, who was 6 weeks into her pregnancy when she died, had argued at their home about his affair. Before her death, Jennifer Rothwell used her cell phone to search Google for what to do if your husband is upset you are pregnant. So he gets sentenced in July. Go through that and see what there is. Okay. Who is this? Do you know this person? Judging Amy? Josaro Gennaro, a veteran television actress, filmmaker, producer, and SAG activist, died of cancer on April 27th, according to a post on her Facebook page by her husband, Matt Bogado. With great sorrow, I announce the passing of my wife, Josaro Gennaro, on this date, April 27th of 2022. Josaro bravely fought cancer, came home to be surrounded by family. Josaro was an amazing wife, mother, artist, and friend. She had the most beautiful, kind soul and wouldn't take no for an answer. Even in her last moment, she was still fighting. She is now resting in peace and will be remembered forever. Myself, Liam, and Emery's will miss her so deeply, although we know she is in our hearts and guiding us every step of the way. She's from ER and Judging Amy. She had a long Hollywood career, appearing in various drama series, including ER from 1994 to 2009, Judging Amy, 1999 to 2005, and Strong Medicine on Lifetime from 1999 to 2005. Born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, she grew up in Colombia as the adopted daughter of a diplomat. While her stepfather was held hostage by guerrillas, the family moved to the U.S. Leaving home at 16, she moved to Chicago and quickly signed with her first agent, who got her involved in stage work. Her powerful presence led to another agent suggesting to move to Los Angeles, and she went on to work with Columbia TriStar to play Virginia Bustos in the nominated sitcom Viva Vegas. She made her television debut as a recurring on Judging Amy as Cheech Marin's daughter, then segued to ER. Her role on Passions was nominated for the 2006 GLAAD Award. She went back to Columbia in 2009 to work on Novella La Bella, Cici, and Imprudente, and then returned to Hollywood for series East Los High. She began producing her own short films, expanding into feature that was accepted, and survivors include her husband and 2 children. An Illinois woman who allegedly killed her husband by driving over his head has been charged with reckless homicide and failure to report a deadly motor vehicle accident. Haihua Chang, 27, is accused of running over her husband, John Gutierrez, last Sunday after driving the couple's Nissan Rogue SUV onto Chicago's Dan Ryan Expressway as he clung to the roof. Assistant Cook County State Attorney James Murphy told Judge Kelly McCarthy during a Wednesday court hearing. Murphy reportedly said that Chang drove away when Gutierrez left their vehicle to put money in a parking meter and on the way to a doctor's appointment in Chinatown. Gutierrez climbed on top of the SUV as it left the area just after an unsuccessful attempt to open the door. And after entering the expressway and driving at speeds of 55 miles per hour, Murphy said Chang took an exit and brought the car to a stop. Gutierrez then got off and again unsuccessfully attempted to open the door. The prosecutors say that Gutierrez held onto the car when Chang drove away for a second time. He then fell to the ground before Chang drove over his head and neck and continued to drive away without informing the police. Court document presented at Wednesday's hearing noted that a witness saw Gutierrez fall and noticed the vehicle bounce as it passed over his head. The local medical examiner's office found that his head and neck were crushed by the SUV's rear passenger tire. Gutierrez was found lying on the street and unresponsive by police. He was pronounced dead at a local hospital later that night. Chang allegedly drove back to Chinatown, parked the car, called a friend to discuss allegations of domestic violence against her by Gutierrez. Murphy said that Chang and her friend later filed a police report about the allegations, but failed to mention already driving the SUV with her husband attached and then running over his head. Chang was arrested by Illinois State Police on Monday. Chang's attorney, Jun Wang, told the Sun-Times that Gutierrez has been subjecting his wife to drug-fueled physical abuse during the 2 weeks before the incident. Wang said that the company was visiting the doctor due to him injuring her leg and that she drove away in an attempt to report the abuse to police. Wang also reportedly told the judge that Chang was attempting to escape being kidnapped by her husband when the incident occurred. He said that Chang was unaware that she had run over Gutierrez and attempted to call him after the fatal injury. The judge set a $100,000 cash bond for Chang and ordered her not to drive if she's released. Wang reportedly said that Chang works as a nail technician and would only be able to afford a small bond amount, while noting that all of her family members live in China. Her next court appearance is set for May 17th. It's crazy. Okay, let me see. I don't even know if you guys are still here. What's going on? Okay. So, still soldiering on over. Well, that's good, Robbity Bob. She is very strong and brave. Prayers. Okay, so I think that's about it. Those are crazy stories. This one, I wish I would have seen the trial. I'll have to see if it's on. I'm surprised nobody was talking about that one. I think we might have talked about that case a little bit. Something seems familiar to me about that case. Get some of these down. Okay. Don't forget that giveaway on the blog for that autograph CD, okay? Hi, Jade Famous Artist, Lovely Liquor and Drugs, cool. color certainly don't help the situation. All right, I'm going to put the number in, see if anybody wants to come up for a little bit. Talk while I take the rest of my vitamins. Okay. Where am I doing this? Where am I doing this? You're welcome, Mike. Okay, let me see. Slack. Okay, so that's in there. Wow, help me, Rhonda. I just read about what happened to you. That's crazy. Glad you're all okay. That's nuts. People are getting berserk. Okay. All right. Okay, let me get back to the live. Is it this one? Is it this one? Hi, Linda Fisher. Are you going to cover? Oh, you mean with Dan in Florida? You talking about? When is that? When is that, Mimi? Your head's massively aching. I'm sorry, one eye, blind art, but your head's massively aching. Yeah, please hit the thumbs up. Hi, Kevin. So, what do I do with my vitamins? Oh, here they are. It's cold again tonight. Got cold again tonight. Catherine is coming up soon, I thought. Oh, thanks, Jade, famous artist. It's called being windblown all day. The wind was outrageous today. I must have given it like a blown out style, I guess. May 16th. Well, we'll see, Mimi. I may miss the first day of it. Hi, Aurora. Pretrial motions. I hope my laptop is on schedule to be delivered tomorrow. Oh, Jackie, I was out all day. I saw briefly something about something, but it didn't look anything bad. Is there anything bad? It looked all to be, I glanced at it before I came on. Is there something specific in there you're trying to show me? Is there an issue? If there is, please tell me, because I didn't see something. Her attorneys definitely didn't win all the motions they wanted. Devious lawyers, Mimi says. Do you want to come in and tell about that? Help me, Ron, to tell what happened to you? You're more than welcome to come up. Hi, LMNW. Hi, Heart Made Wise. Nana Patty. Jackie? Jackie, please let me know if there's like something wrong. No info? What do you mean no info? No, nothing wrong. You're just giving me info? Is that what you're saying? Okay, I think that's what you're saying. I think you're saying, no, there's nothing wrong. You're just giving me the information, right? Okay, great. Terrific. Wonderful. Oh, I got scared for a minute. Thought you were going to be like, what's the wrong days or something. Oh my gosh. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Where's Scooter? Scooter, where are you? Hello, Carolyn. Bergstrong, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. Got a part-time job, so busy adjusting. Oh, good to see you. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Foxy and the Boxy. Don't forget we have an auction tomorrow, 3:30. Today is a good day, Nicole said. Oh. You got your nails done today, Jackie? Working at a dog bathing grooming place called Larry's Laundromat. Oh, that sounds fun. I wish I could bring you my dogs. Bergstrom, you have a daughter or something in Vermont, right? Don't you? Scooter's hour may be messed up. Well, she was talking to me shortly before I came on here. Oh, but I can't believe it's 4:27, but it's late. Maybe we should just call it a night, and I'll schedule the auctions for tomorrow. It's like 11 hours to auctions. You're having to learn multitasking again? Probably what we should do is just cool it then. I didn't realize what time it is. Hi, Nightmare. Nightmare 77. You mean Nightmare 44, right? I'm just waiting for Bergstrom. She's in Maine. Okay, but okay. I knew it was up that way. All right. Well, I guess I will then say goodnight. It's been a long day, and I will be on the auctions tomorrow. Typing issues. All right. So we'll see each other before very long. 11 hours. 11. Yeah, about 11 hours and 5 minutes. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. See you later. God bless. Be good. Be good. Love you.